First, let's review this information on place value with decimals. Remember, a decimal is part of a whole. So we have our whole number. You're probably sick of this example because I've given it so many times. Whole number 45, the decimal point you read as an and then you have the part of a whole. So I think all of these numbers below written in words are just, some of them are whole numbers, some of them are part of a whole. So please pay attention if it's asking you, for instance, for hundredths versus hundred. Pay attention to that distinction. Okay, go ahead, pause the video and try these on your own, writing them with digits. So writing the decimals, and then play the video when you are ready to see the answers. I'm going to go through these really quickly. So 1400ths would look like that. You can say woohoo after each one if you got it too, and keep the energy going. 400ths, ooh, this was a good tricky one. That means I have nothing in my tenths place and 4 in my hundredths place. Did that get some of you? I was warning you, that was a common mistake. Give yourself a double woohoo if you got that one. And if you made a mistake, that's okay. You will learn from it next time, I promise. So then we have 4/10ths. So now I get to put the 4 in the tenths place. Then we have 400, like I was warning you. This one's just a whole number, no decimals. I wasn't trying to trick you. 4,000, I'll put a comma, but not a decimal. 40, and finally I switched back on you, 40/100ths. So I have to write 40, and that ends in a hundredths place. So that works. Check your work, see if those make sense, and if they don't, go back and review what we said about how to read decimals. You might want to replay that part of the video from the very beginning. We're going to do one example together, and then I'll set you off on your own to work. This is the one I warned you about. I told you, not you, but in the past, students have confused when it's asking for hundredths and when it's asking for tenths. And they're very, very different. But I know you won't make that mistake because you're going to be careful mathematicians who pay attention to when it wants the hundredths and when it wants the tenths. Let's start with hundredths first. So again, if you have a flat, you can do this. Otherwise, just visualize in your head, what would 400ths look like on this flat? And you should be seeing just 4 out of 100 shaded, right? Not even an entire long. It's teeny tiny 400ths. Whereas if I shade it in 4/10ths, is that going to be bigger or smaller? You visualize it in your head. It's going to be much bigger, right? I'm not going to shade this in perfectly, but I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4/10ths. And actually, if we wanted to think about that as hundredths, how many hundredths would that be? You have 40 hundredths, right? So we know that's 4/10ths. If you were just thinking about, each long being 1/10, or that's also equal to 40 out of 100. Those two are the same thing. But these are not the same. 400ths and 4/10ths. As you saw, 4/10ths was much bigger. So if we complete the comparison statement using less than, greater than, or equal to, I'm going to read this 0, and 400ths is definitely less than 0 and 4/10ths. Promise that you will be careful mathematicians and pay attention to when it's asking hundredths or tenths. Good luck.